Here we go.
All right. Live from Columbo's. Welcome back to the brighter side of blue. We got no Danny, but I'm Tommy.
I'm JJ.
Producer John, live
at Columbo's. Seabo's Pizzas, your two mobile guys here. Who are your two mobile?
I have two of my officers decided to have a night out. It's Jeffrey Stoll and Matt Gregston. They're two fine team leaders for my police department or my unit.
That's awesome.
They're good.
They're the
That's
ones
cool.
that bought us the Jameson shots.
Yes.
We got started about 2 hours late from our usual time, so things are already.
I tell you, my foresight is unbelievable. When I heard they were coming down, I decided I was going to Uber.
Oh, beautiful.
Good for you. That's a good call.
Did you get your car repossessed?
No, I hope not. But Uber's good.
I'm not doing my shot unless Mary Michelle tells me to do it.
All right.
She was on. I don't know if she's still on, but
no Danny today. He's honing his pickleball skills down in Florida.
He's pickleballing somebody right now.
That ain't right. That is not right. But anyway, JJ, I just want to start. You've got an update on the Nancy Brannon case, and just give us a little background on it and the update you have.
Well, Nancy Brannon, we interviewed her and did her podcast before we were video, so we were just only audio. It was their 6th podcast, and her aunt Nancy Brannon was abducted, disappeared on.
You didn't mention Melissa Dowse.
I did. I thought I did.
Did you? Okay, that's her aunt. Yes,
Melissa Dow's aunt. Melissa Dow's a friend of mine, and she came to us a long time ago about this case. Once we started a podcast, and said which is crazy, her aunt Nancy Brannon's been missing since 1986. So she was on, and she gave us updates, and it's quite an interesting story. Dateline.
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah,
Dateline wanted to do a story on it, but there's not enough evidence yet. But we felt after she did her interview with us that there is one suspect we believe is pretty good. She was how old was she? 26 years old or something, and she was a professional. She was doing well. She liked to go to happy hours, and she disappeared on December. I think it was December of 1986. It doesn't matter. November 26, 1986.
And she was dating not dating.
She was having an affair, and they don't deny that. She was having an affair with a dentist who was married, and apparently the dentist and his wife were building a house in Oakville, which is where we both live, in a brand new subdivision. So I just ran into her. It's kind of a crazy story that she works at, I'm not going to say where she works, but this lady came in to her work and says she's listened to the podcast. And she says she realized when she started watching the podcast that Melissa was the person that she sees on a regular basis. And she's like, she walked into her work and says, "You're Melissa Dowse, that you're the one that's aunt's been missing since 1986. She says, I used to live in that she may still live in that subdivision. So when the main guy that we all kind of feel like is the one that needs to be looked at, the dentist.
Yep.
He was building a home. Him and his wife are building a home, and they were the spec home. This home was the very first one. It's the only home there. They built it. Whoever the builder was built this home, and they bought that home. So other people moved in, and then when this gal who's telling Melissa this story, she says no one liked this guy. He was a weird guy. He was unfriendly. But when the builder who built the home, anytime you have to do anything, add anything, the builder was responsible for putting it in. Like if he built a patio, or if you laid a concrete patio, whatever it is, whatever you wanted to do, you had to go through the builder. This guy didn't do it. He decided to do it himself. So he built this patio, which kind of suspicious because we all felt, if you go back and listen to the podcast, you'll see why he was the only really suspect.
But I just want to interrupt real quick to say that the information you've gotten now is coming from the Shrewsbury police who have since our podcast, and it's not because of our podcast, it's because of Melissa Dowse and the work she's done.
Right.
That she kept she kept inquiring with Shrewsbury what's going on.
She has not let this thing die. If you watch the podcast, she's been a gumshoe detective since it was given to her, since she was told by her aunt and her dad that take this case over. She came in, the friend of hers or a customer of hers came in her business and said that she knew Nancy, or she knew the guy that they think is the one that did this. And she said no one liked him. I think I'm repeating myself, but that's okay because I'm.
You didn't get to that part.
So he said that no one liked him and that he built this. He actually laid his own I think it was concrete patio.
That's where you were at.
And everybody was mad. The builder was mad because that's supposed to be done by the builder, and he took it upon himself. No one really. He said no one in the neighborhood really liked him. He lived there for 7 years. Now he lives like in Arizona, whatever.
I think Florida, maybe.
Is it Florida?
I don't know,
but it doesn't matter. But he moved out.
Fact checking.
The marshals will find him.
But Nancy or Melissa's been involved with the Shrewsbury, constant contact. She's never let it go, and maybe a thorn. I said this before, thorn in their side. But they're reaching out to her. I ran into her at I think it was like at a grocery store a couple of weeks ago, and she said they're actually been knocking on the door. They knocked on the door of the house, so they believe that where he lived,
where he used to live,
and they wanted to bring a cadaver dog, and they also want to do this radar stuff that shoots in the ground. But they have 3 places they want to, and she don't know where they're coming up with this, but there's 3 spots in his yard. I think the patio that he laid is one of them, but they want to dig that up. So they knocked on the door. They got permission. They're going to do this in December, but then the weather came and they postponed. They've actually postponed it twice. And then right now it's 0 degrees outside in St. Louis right now. So they're not going to do it till the weather changes, but they plan on going back and they're going to actually start digging up, which I think is interesting. Another thing that's interesting is Shrewsbury. They had the cigarette butts. So they had 7 or so cigarette butts, and they retested them because technology has come a long way since they first got the cigarette butts.
Yep.
And they got DNA off it. So I thought it was kind of crazy, but they told Melissa that they only did it through the NCIC for missing people, which I thought that was kind of crazy. Why would they not do it just totally? So I called Mary Beth Carr today. I talked to her. She's our lab tech, and she's one of the best there is right now. So I asked her, why wouldn't they send it just all out? She says, well, when they do now, they can tell. When they do DNA, they can tell if it's a male or a female. So she don't know if that's what this is or not, because it's all we know is they only sent it to NCIC. If there would have been a male, they probably would have sent it to CODIS, which is where they would go all nationwide. So I think right now that's the only reason they didn't. I don't even know. I wanted to ask Melissa today. She's out of town with her husband, and they got some kid function. I wanted to see if she knew if I don't know. Do we know if Melissa or if Nancy was what is that? This is why we're practicing.
John's called.
Anyway, I wanted to find out if Nancy was a smoker. If she was a smoker, then that's going to be probably her cigarette butts because it's outside of her apartment. So right now that's where they're at.
I think with Melissa, the niece, when she was saying that they had all them cigarette butts, she never said that Nancy was a smoker. So I'm thinking that she was hoping that DNA.
And it could be like they didn't tell her. That's all what Shrewsbury told her, that they put through NCIC.
We don't. To go back, I think those cigarette butts were found in the parking lot of her apartment complex, correct? Right. Yeah.
I believe so.
So that was that's neat that things are moving forward. Again, it might not lead to
the fact that the funny thing is they will never let her see the case file. She's been trying to get the case file. Which I understand. I understand that. I do too. Yeah. But at least they're doing something. They're actually if they actually break ground and start digging, then it's going to get real interesting.
Right.
And so if you're listening for the first time, if you go back and listen to episode 6, it'll make more sense to you. But this guy is he had everything to lose because he was married to a dentist. They're building a new home. And there was a thing in the first podcast we did with her that there was a what do you call the pills that they take? The
Oxycontin?
No, the pills.
I thought you were asking me.
No, the pills women take so they don't get pregnant. What do they call them?
The pill.
The pill. Yeah, that's close. Hey, thanks, Jameson. Thanks, Mobile Reserve, for making me do Jameson shot. But anyway, there were some pills found that she didn't take. So it could have been that this is just my opinion, or it's a theory that she could have been pregnant. And this is what would have freaked him out. And he liked having a younger girl as his little, girlfriend on the side. And now all of a sudden she comes up and says, I'm pregnant. And they're building a house with his wife who has no idea that he's having an affair. I mean, this guy, I'm pointing everything towards this guy. And this just theory could be totally innocent. And he could have just had an affair and it's nothing to do with her missing. But it just seems suspicious.
Timing and logic would indicate that there might be something else in the story.
So the story's not done. And I can't wait till when the weather breaks and then Shrewsbury actually goes and they got permission from the owner of the house to break the concrete and dig in the house.
I found it interesting that the person came forward and said this guy was a weirdo in the neighborhood.
Yeah. How weird is it? She listened to our podcast, realized that Melissa was the gal she sees at her business. I don't want to say the business, not that nothing big deal.
Matter. It doesn't matter. She ran into her.
Right. She ran into her and said, "You're Melissa Dowes, and I listened to the podcast." So, and she knew all about the guy.
And she lived in that neighborhood.
She was one of the houses. She bought one of the houses. Yes, she bought one of the houses. And at the time when he built his house, he was the spec home, so it was the only one there. So he had all time in the world.
You know how the neighbors are. Neighbors know who weirdos are.
Right.
So
he wasn't liked in the neighborhood at all.
And even if this doesn't come to a conclusion that could put the family to rest.
Right.
They're doing everything they can.
Right.
At this point, they're doing everything they can.
Very happy with, it's all Melissa too, because I think
absolutely
they would never look back into this. And then there's so much stuff going on. Why would they? But for her to go back there and start pushing it and being really, I said earlier, a thorn in their side, she is not going to let this go. She's not going to be satisfied until all things are spent.
Yep.
That they dug up and they don't find anything.
God bless Melissa, and we're hoping for a nice ending.
Absolutely. Oh, it'd be unreal. And great. Dateline will pick it up. This will be on Dateline for sure. What a story!
Again, you we're just rooting for her, right? You got to root for Melissa. She's worked so hard.
Her whole family, her father's still alive, her aunts are still alive. They would love closure before their time's up on this earth, and this is the time right now.
That'd be great.
Right.
Now, one of the other things I have to mention is my son's surgery.
Yeah, he's tough.
I mean, my son Jack is 20 years old, and when he was 12, he had broke his femur in a football game.
Wait a minute, can I interrupt though?
Yeah.
His nickname was Copay.
Right.
Because he was always getting hurt.
He got hurt. I mean, he broke just about every bone in his body. So he was rightfully came up with the name. His nickname was Copay amongst our friend group because he was in the hospital a lot. But Jack broke his leg, broke his femur in a football game when he was 12. And a couple months ago, his leg started hurting. He went in and got x-rays, and the rod that they had put in had broken. I don't know how you break a rod, but if anybody can figure it out, Lil Copay. We called him Lil Copay, and Lil Copay could figure that out. How to break that.
Heck of a good little athlete too.
So he went in and had that, and they pulled that broken rod out, two different rods. It was a nasty surgery. But the one thing that I wanted to bring up that was just astounding is that they do the X-ray, they find out that he's got a broken rod in it's broken metal. It's not the bone.
I saw the picture.
There's nothing, but they made him go to you had to go to 12 sessions of therapy before they would authorize anything. So the medical industry or somebody within the insurance industry, one of the two decided the best way to figure this out is to send a guy with a broken metal rod to therapy to hope this will get cured. There's no way.
It's unreal. And
unless you sent them to a solder.
They did have to break his leg.
Solder. He soldered his shit together.
So they had to actually break his leg though, right?
No. What they did, and I thought that's what they did is they put in a huge gash in his hip.
Yeah.
And they went in from the hip and they put another one right above his knee, a little smaller one. And they went in from both sides and took the rod out.
Okay.
And they pulled the rod out because the bone had healed, but the rod was causing the pain. So they took that rod out, and He's resting.
Oh, so that's good. So when you first said it a long time, he was.
I did think they had to re-break
his leg. Well, that's huge. They didn't have to re-break his leg.
Well, he's still in a lot of pain.
Oh, and he refuses. No. He refuses to take narcotics to ease the pain.
Yes, he takes Tylenol, and he every move he makes is with a grimace.
Did you tell him that? No, I'm not going to go down there.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Did you tell him to fill those subscriptions anyway?
I did.
You can sell it.
Hey, when you're in pain, you got to take that shit.
Right. No, they sent them home with it.
Did they really?
Yeah.
That's good.
And the doctor, and here's another good one, is that when he was in there, so he had to stay one night over. And that was the understanding, that he was going to have to stay one night. Well, the physical therapist came in. She was the first one to come in, and he was, they put him on a walker, and he was using his upper body, and he was grimacing. He was in a good amount of pain. Well, she started talking about how he's got to stay the night and what she's going to do tomorrow. And he wasn't down for that. He was like, you got to be kidding me. So then about 1:00, the doctor comes in, and the doctor says, how you feeling? He says, fine. But do you mind if I go to the bathroom real quick? And he wanted to show the doctor that he could take that walker and go to the bathroom, and he was feeling good. And you could tell he was hurting, but he wanted to fool the doctor. And the doctor's like, looks good. You're out of here.
Yeah. Insurance was glad he went home too.
So he fooled him a little bit. So that was fun.
I love it.
Now go ahead, Johnny.
We have 17 viewers right now.
Yeah, 17 viewers.
We're really starting.
These are our inaugural viewers.
The place is packed.
I like it.
The place is packed.
You.
We actually thank those guys.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in.
Absolutely. You getting any messages on the side?
Yeah, Mary Michelle.
Of course.
Laurie Urson.
Laurie.
Postal Dave has chimed in.
Peace.
Is Danny Howard up?
He just said blow me.
Middle of pickleball.
We're replacing you, Dan. So just stay down.
No, I got a few other things I want to say.
Go ahead. Absolutely.
Travis Brown update. Danny was always big on Travis Brown. Travis was hurt during the Ferguson incident. Had some severe head injuries. He's still rehabilitating. I asked. It's a long road. It's a head injury. It's pretty severe. I talked to Benny Blackman, who's a SWAT officer today. I said, how's he doing? And he says he's still got a long ways to go, but something was cool. He said that one of the buddies bought him an iPad. And so now his buddies, his friends can call him and leave him messages. So he can get on this podcast, or can get on his iPad and listen to the messages. So I think it was kind of cool that they did that.
Absolutely. And what would kind of be cool is, and I was saying that when you were talking about that, is maybe have the public could they could set up something where the public could say something to them, people that don't know him, and say, hey,
it's definitely a good idea.
And just let them listen to the
positive,
the gratefulness that people have for what he's done and what he's going through. But that would be kind of neat because
I agree.
And you did say that the recovery's slow.
Oh,
it's gradual.
He left. He did 3 weeks in Atlanta for head injury, and he's got a long ways to go. He's a strong kid. He's a big, strong guy, and he's determined. So.
And you're off, and Benny's a friend of his.
Benny's a buddy of his. Yeah.
That's good. And hopefully we can keep getting some good updates.
Hopefully he keeps improving and things get better.
But the other one I wanted to talk about is producer John and I were talking the other day, and the subject of deskmen came up. The deskmen in the old districts. And deskmen always had the same MO. They were a little older, a little crusty, might not have had the best disposition in the world, but they would take care of you.
Yeah, they couldn't put them on the street because they were too crabby.
But usually,
not.
And then some of them were nice guys, but for the most part, they were at the end of their career, done with like they got taken off the street for not being able to talk to people the correct way, stuff like that. Not all, but most of them. But John had two.
I got a story too.
Go ahead. Which one? Who?
I won't say.
You don't want to go after his because his story was funny. Yeah, you want to go first.
I was a young officer, had like a year on, and I got and Lieutenant Clubs got mad at me, and I won't say why, but he was mad at me. So he made me ride. The desk guy was a crabby old dude, and he just got mad. They got mad at him at the desk. That's how crabby he was. So. They put him back.
Crabby for a desk person?
Yes.
That's when you're about the crabbiest motherfucker.
They put him on the street ever. In the 8th District. And he was a one-man car. And, and Lieutenant Klob says, okay, and I'm going to put you with, and he put me with this old crusty guy. And and the guy, and he would just,
What'd you do?
it was, well, his clubs got mad at me, but anyway, that's going somewhere. So actually, I'll tell you what I did. I've been working secondary for the 4th of July, and it was a Sunday, and me and my partner were decided we're going to take an easy day on Sunday. We're not going to go look for arrest or whatever.
Good logic.
It was great logic.
Right.
So my mistake was Lieutenant Kloeb said, "Where are you at?" So I told him we're in a parking lot by Sumner High School. So he pulls up. So what are you doing? I said, "Hey man, we've been working a lot of secondary. We're tired. We're just going to kind of take it easy today." He goes, "Oh, you're going to take it easy today?" He goes, "Okay." Eddie,
that's such a bad answer.
It wasn't terrible.
Such a bad answer.
But so he punished both me and my partner. We both I had a ride with the crabby desk guy for a year. And the thing.
Now, did they take the desk guy off the desk just to ride with you for punishment?
He got mad. I think Kloebs got mad at him and put him on the street, got him out of the office. So
you got mad at two people and put them together?
Well, he got mad at me and my partner.
That's a solid plan too.
It was. So I had to ride with this guy for like 2 days, and he was just he smoked. It was horrible. And so finally he put me in a cruiser. I won't keep going down that path, but the funniest thing is the guy that's in the car with me, he says he's been out of the play for a while.
Right. He said, new to him.
Yeah, he says, "Well, what the hell's all this? Everybody needs foot pursuits for this VMCSL shit." Well, VMCSL violation of Missouri Controlled Substance Law. No, but what are you running for? VMCSL. He goes, "What the hell is all this VMCSL shit?" Yep. So actually, I got in the pursuit. Went over to Illinois. Mobile took it over. It was unbelievable.
You got in pursuit with the desk guy?
Yeah, no, he put me in the cruiser. The desk guy was off, so he goes, "You're gonna ride the cruiser." He was mad.
So you got in pursuit in the cruiser?
I got in pursuit in the cruiser.
That's solid.
It was. I went across the Illinois Bridge. They canceled me. Mobile guys flew past me. This was way before I was in Mobile. And I got a call saying, "Meet me at the other." When I came back from Illinois, meet me on the other side, on the Missouri side. So I had to meet my lieutenant. And he was like, "All right, I'm going to put you back. I'm going to put you back in your regular squad. You're out of punishment."
You almost tipped the cruiser over. The cruiser's not made for pursuits.
Well, the reason I chased the guy though, I was behind him, and he put a pistol out the window and pointed at some people on the corner of like Newstead and Marcus or somewhere. I'm like, holy shit! So
Did they get him?
Mobile got him. That's all I know. They chased him.
But you started it.
I did. But I didn't
get to write that.
No.
Did you have to transport him in the cruiser?
I think by the time they got him and took him in, and it was no, I didn't.
Okay.
No.
John, tell that one with the pizza place.
Yeah, this Mike Rose told me this story. Who's Mike? Anybody who knows Mike Rose, he's a great guy, a great storyteller. But we had an old crabby dust man, and he always would call a car off the street to go get him. And he liked pizza from this one pizza place.
What district was he in?
In the 9th district.
Okay.
So, these guys, they get aggravated because they had to, drop what they're doing and go get the pizza for the dust man. So, Mike decided to play a joke. So he went and got the pizza, but he put a note on the box saying, "Dear officer, you call here all the time. You sound so sexy on the phone, and I really want to meet you." And so, he just dropped it off. Well, apparently Dustman reads this.
It's on the top of the box, right?
Yeah.
As you open the box, he put the thing on the top of the box.
Right. So when he got off his shift, he
it's so wrong, but
he went down to the pizza place and was just kind of standing around, and like making eyes at the gal, and just kind of waiting for her. Yeah. Just it. Finally, he's like, "Can I help you?" And he goes, "Well, did you write me a note?" She's like, "No, I didn't write a note."
The officer you wrote a note to? I didn't write nobody a note.
So it's hilarious. I'm sure it was completely embarrassing for him and the pizza girl, but it was a great joke.
I'm going to set awesome. The next one up though. The one that I've howl them pretty good is so in all the stations during somewhere near the holdover where everybody would be booked and put in until they went downtown. Somewhere near there would be a pile of clothes. And why there'd be a pile of clothes there is because if you would get identified through your clothing, police officers would have to seize your clothes. And then obviously you can't send anybody down naked. So right. They'd had clothes laying around. So in this particular one the next one that John had, there was a mix-up with the clothing, and go ahead with that one.
Yeah, this one happened in 9th District also. They had all these prisoners in there, and this one very young officer who is nicknamed after a young amphibian. He had a prisoner that needed.
You talking about Newt?
Newt.
Newt.
You said it.
Yeah.
So this one prisoner needed clothing because they're getting ready to transport him down to the prisoner processing. So the prisoner processing cruiser comes to pick these guys up, and they're marching all these guys out to the cruiser, and so they're marching out, and all of a sudden this other old crabby desk man looks up and said, he's looking at these guys going by, and he goes, "That motherfucker's got my tracksuit on." Because he had this, I guess he was going to go work out or something after work, and he had it hanging up in the back, and Newt thought it was.
I need the punchline.
Yeah.
He hung it too close to the clothing.
Yeah, it was a little bit too close, and so Newt says, "Well, here, put this on," and then so anyway.
Why is that motherfucker?
Apparently, the desk man never moves so fast to come out there and tell the guy to go back,
sweatsuit,
and they gave him some actual hobo clothes.
Perfect.
That's funny.
As we sit here, we're looking at the U.S. Canada's winning by 1.
They started last time.
Yeah, we're down.
But what I wanted to point out was two St. Louis hockey players, the Tkachuk brothers.
Yep.
That last game,
they made St. Louis proud.
I mean, that they did make St. Louis proud.
To finish it off, though, God, I hope they win. They'll make it perfect ending.
But the fact that they're from St. Louis and what was it, 3 fights in 9 minutes?
9 seconds.
9 seconds. I'm sorry.
In 9 seconds.
Yep.
And that was
epic.
Neat.
That
was neat. And they went to school with Jason Tatum and
Jason Tatum was the
star
basketball player.
Yeah, Matthew Tkachuk.
He's kind of a good He's good. He's pretty decent in the
roll.
NBA too, isn't he?
St. Louis is on a good roll with pretty good athletes. You got Jordan Love. You got your boy Jordan Love. Or I'm sorry, Jeremiah Love. I was just thinking of Jordan. Oh, never mind.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
All right.
Well, we got Pat Maroon. We got all kinds of star hockey players.
I'm saying that
baseball
you got Tatum that's won an NBA championship.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Love went to the national championship game, had a great season. Now you got the Tkachuk brothers putting hockey on their shoulders.
Did you hear what the Tkachuk brothers did to their dad?
No.
They stoned. He kept. They it's a joke. They wouldn't answer us
afterwards.
After the fight, they quit. They wouldn't take his calls. I don't know if it's before. Or after.
Now that would be.
And they thought they were being funny, and the dad's like, I don't know why they're not answering my calls. They always answer my calls, and apparently they were doing it just to be funny.
So they put him on the pay no mind list.
Yes.
Oh, dude, there's nothing worse than the pay no mind list.
Well, they beat their dad by like 11 seconds because in '96 USA played Canada in the World Cup, and Tkachuk dropped the gloves with
11 seconds
with Lemieux, Claude Lemieux, 20 seconds into the game.
20 seconds.
So it runs in the family.
That's awesome.
And
they've lifted. USA Hockey on their shoulders.
Well, they were playing in Montreal, and the Montreal fans booed our national anthem. And the other interesting thing was like the week before, Matthew Tkachuk was at the White House with the president. Because they were celebrating their Stanley Cup win from last year. So I think Trump just told him to say, you don't
let these Canadians boo our shit anymore.
Yeah.
Well, and tonight, I think Jack was just telling us that during the Canadian national anthem at tonight's game, they just started chanting USA.
Right.
Didn't boo it.
No.
We just said, we'll just go ahead and chant USA.
Yep.
I'm kind of digging this live stuff. There's screens all over the place, people. Jack, you got this set up, buddy. So come up here real quick, and I want Jack to tell everybody how to get on, because this will be aired on Monday. So after we do our live stuff on Thursday, which is now, they will cut it, and it'll come out on Monday. But here's how you get on live Go ahead, Jack.
All right, we're on right now. We're on Facebook and YouTube. And so if you're on YouTube, there's a bell icon next to our name. That's what you want to click, and that'll tell you every single time that we're going live, which is Thursday night.
Click the bell, people.
Click the bell, you'll get notified, and then we'll do some text messages and email lists and stuff and make sure that you know that when we're coming out.
Jack, can I ask you one question?
You can ask me a bunch of questions.
Are you still on the market?
I'm still out there.
Come on now.
I know
Come on now.
We've had a few ladies inquire from the show.
Okay.
Yeah,
They're probably too old.
You're popular out there from the show.
Are they cougars or are they pumas or what do they call
with
them?
this show? They're cougars. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. What's older than the cougar? Is there an older one than the cougar, or that's it? That's the old.
The cougar is.
Cougar's the.
But
40 plus.
We can no longer call anybody a cougar, though.
No.
Yeah, that he can use that.
You know what's cool is there's no one out of our range anymore.
And the other thing, Jack, is the website that you guys are creating.
Yep.
So it's not quite up yet. It should be up Monday. I think we got a meeting with Isaiah.
Yep. It'll be up very shortly.
What you can do there is, and we'll announce that when it does go live. But what you can do there is subscribe for our email burst. And therefore, anytime we put something out, whether it be an update on trials, whether it be anything we put out, you'll get a notification and when you're going live, correct?
Right. You want to subscribe to our email list so that you get our blogs, you get our trial updates, like every single thing that we've got. We're not just doing this podcast anymore. We're expanding. And so you want to be able to see.
We got Paige Spears, which we'll get an update in a minute.
That's right.
We got we're working with him. We're working with Federal Friday with Joe and Jack. So there's going to be a lot of stuff. And then, just to let everybody know that this is going to be our opening for the week. This is our Monday thing. We're going to do openings. We're going to have some celebrities on the show that we've got lined up through John. Maybe we'll get some of those. But when we do stuff on Thursday nights, it'll be more the that was good. It'll be more the personalities rather than cases. And then on Wednesday, we'll always feature a crime case of some sort. Right. This week, we've got Mark Biondelino coming on, and we're going to talk about a murder for hire that involves a local principal and a local teacher. That's a very interesting case. So that'll come out on Wednesday. And then we also have coming out this week with the TT, with the Anthony Jordan TT trial. But the supervisor from intelligence at the time, who was Bill McDonough, and we're going to get behind the scenes on exactly how these proffers went and how that investigation went. And it includes a dirty copper, which everybody loves the story about a dirty copper, right? Except us. But it all started from there, and we're going to hear a lot about that and how that investigation went. So those are the kind of stuff we'll put out each week. Right, Jack?
That's right.
And then Jack's he's going to be cutting up shorts. So follow us on Instagram and YouTube and
the brighter
Facebook.
Side of blue. Yeah,
the brighter side of blue will follow you to the right place.
Everywhere.
All right, Jack. Thank you, buddy.
Cool.
The next thing I wanted to get into is Macron, the dude from France. We were talking about this during the delay while we were waiting. We were talking with the mobile boys and I was telling them that
this is the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, but there's on the internet, Candace Owens. I don't know if anybody follows her.
I love her.
But awesome. She's done this expose on Macron's wife. And there's a good possibility, that Macron's wife is actually his father that has transitioned to a female.
I thought Caitlyn Jenner was the craziest story. This will definitely.
The best is, and I told it to your mobile guys, and the guy, he didn't hear about it either. But he pulled up Macron and his wife, and he goes, "That's definitely a dude." So that was good. And the wildest story. She comes with receipts, family photos.
Oh, she's no joke.
The whole bit.
She's
and it's the wildest shit. I just sat there and listened to it, and then you get them holes. And she's laying it out.
Dude, she would be a great attorney. You cannot argue her. Debate her. She's the sharpest scale going. I love her. I've been a fan of hers forever.
No, I just find the fact that it's so wild. It appears that she's got a lot of. I mean, the stuff I listen to, I would believe that
Oh,
is true.
She's not bullshitting.
That
She don't
Macron is
make
married to his friggin' dad.
I
find
I
it.
think it's
to
his.
be-
It's his definitely.
I
His,
find it to be true.
it's his beard. It's his beard. It's just a cover because Macron probably is a little goofy, or maybe he,
Yeah.
So
Would you
he,
marry your dad?
yeah, well, he has that as just his like cover because he's the president of fucking France, right?
I guess.
Jesus.
But then he's got that. The best is when your boy looks at it and goes, "That's definitely a dude."
I gotta look at it though. I gotta do more research. That is just too creepy. That kicks Caitlyn Jenner right out the water. Man, that's the craziest shit ever.
But real quick, you know where you go if you want to get healthy though?
Prime Performance.
Yes, primeperformancestl.com on the website. And then you know what you do there is you rediscover your prime.
That's what I'm looking
What
for.
locations could you go to, JJ, to rediscover your prime?
Well, you can go to the one in O'Fallon, Illinois. I'm going off the top of my head. I don't remember and then there's one in Fenton at 44 Fenton Plaza.
Yep. The one in Illinois. Yep. Central Park Drive.
Park Drive.
Over in Illinois. But when you rediscover your prime, what they can do for you is they got testosterone therapy, hormone therapy, vitamin injections, medical weight loss, IV therapy, and peptides.
Damn.
Owned by former law enforcement officers, and they give law enforcement officers, first responders, and Brighter Side of Blue listeners a discount.
Speaking of that, I'm off tomorrow, so I think I may go. I keep saying I'm going to go down there, but I don't. So I want to say one thing. I got a text from John.
Yes.
John Schicker. Actually, it was sent to John, and John sent it to me. But this is Truck Week or Truck Month for Rams and Ford trucks. Also, military and first responders discount, $500 off. Shop local, shop Schicker. They also have They have car dealerships in Washington, Missouri, and Union, Missouri. But this is, if you want to get a truck, this is the time to get a new truck. For Schicker, it's Truck Month, so they got great discounts on trucks. So,
and they always got that mobile van that'll come and help you if you buy a car from them and you live in the area. They'll come by, change your oil, all that good stuff.
That's a good service.
Yep.
I have my truck from there, and I just drop it off. I usually drop it off because I don't want to have them to wait on me too much. So I'll drop it off, and they always give me a little car, nicer car than I have, a newer Explorer than I have, and I take that until they say come get it. So they're great to deal with.
No doubt.
It's all.
What else we were talking about today is what we needed to get cards because people was like, hey, what podcast? What
Actually, Lisa said that we need to get cards because people ask us all the time, what's your podcast? And no one, you can, because I'm always in bars. And like, what podcast? And I tell them Brighter Side of Blue. And they ask me like 2 or 3 times, but I keep repeating it. And I guarantee you when they go in their car, like, what was the name of that podcast?
So what are we going to do?
We're going to hand out business cards.
And we're going to go to Marvell Printing to get them done.
Right.
Mark Colombini. We're going to get our cards down there at 1928 South Broadway.
Perfect.
And you can reach him at 314-231-1477, marvellprinting.com.
And Mark, if you're listening right now live, or
just go ahead and print them cards up.
Print some cards up for us so we can hand out and grow this podcast.
Absolutely. Then the final one is if you need a cigar, where do you go, JJ? Riverman Cigar Company?
Yes.
Is that where you go?
That's where I go all the time.
Would you drive to 8984 Watson Road?
Yes.
But you don't smoke cigars. But if you did, that's where you go, right?
I still plan on going there. I want to be a cigar smoker. So I want them to like train me into start out with a real mild one and work my way up.
Yep.
I've smoked cigars before.
That's what they're there for.
But they're pretty tough.
But you don't want to do the who is that? Who we got there?
Oh no.
I see Pat.
We got
Keep
Patrick.
coming.
Patrick. Who is that? Is that Patrick's buddy?
That's Sally O'Malley. I'm sorry.
You know that, or he's my
no, her name is Sally.
Okay.
He's like, cut this out.
No, you're on now.
We're almost done too.
We're going live coast to coast, Pat.
Actually, we're live right now.
We're live. We are live.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many
we roll now?
We have
Patrick?
a total of like 17 viewers right now.
We are
so
not.
Hope Patrick's supposed to be here.
It was
You okay, Pat?
We are no longer effing around.
So he's like, fuck.
I want to give a shout out to Mary Michelle, who's been one of our most loyal listeners since day one.
Absolutely.
And she's actually chimed in a bunch of times tonight already on the live feed. And
this is going to be fun.
She came up with a good idea.
I keep telling
There's a bar fight going in
right.
going in the corner.
Yeah, we got one loud table in here.
Hey, go ahead. Keep going.
All right, the USA just scored. Yes, there we go.
The Chucks are on the eye. I see Matthew out there at least.
Heard a loud roar from upstairs.
That's awesome.
There we go. 1-1, baby.
All right.
This is a spoiler.
Go ahead.
But Mary Michelle had a good suggestion about doing a Jack Riley and Harry Hager book signing at some point.
Oh, wow. That would be awesome.
She's had all kinds of ideas for us, man.
Yeah.
She's a content.
She's kind of her. She's our unpaid agent.
Yep. Content director.
Yes, she is.
Absolutely. Much appreciated.
That's Brady Kachuk scored that goal.
You know, just to build off that a little bit is a lot of these stories, you know, we come up with on our own or we remember cases, and we're not familiar with all the great cases that have gone on in St. Louis, the investigations. If you guys got ideas, get a hold of us on our email, and just send in the idea, especially if you know the investigator that's involved too. With our new format is they don't have to come on the show and come down here on a Thursday. I can interview them over the internet, and we can post that. Because like we said earlier, that's some of the stuff that we're going to go to. And we'd love to get as many people involved in this as we can and really bring to light some of the great police work and other things that have gone on. And what I'm trying to do through the TT trial is we've gained a lot of different audience too, is that I'd like to get their stories on too.
That'd be interesting.
Phil Menendez has already received a call from somebody that wants to come on, and her son was murdered, and she has a passion for helping victims. Awesome. Bring her on and stuff like that, and I think that'll be fun. And again, we want all your guys' ideas, our website, emails, whatever. So hook us up with that, and then. But I need a Zen. You got a Zen for us, JJ?
I do.
Come on now.
Actually, I looked up what the meaning of Zen was. I won't read that. It's like 15 lines, but maybe someday I'll read all that. But this is from T.S. Eliot. It says, only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go.
Want to say it again?
Not really, but I
gotta ask. Danny's not here. I gotta ask.
I think I was flawless first time, so I'll leave it be.
Nope.
If you want to hear it again, just rewind.
Hit it back. I like it. And now we're gonna jump to the producer John story of the week. What you got?
Well, last week I did Yogi Berra, which wasn't really like a news story, but it gave me inspiration because I got a lot of good feedback from this one person that they enjoyed it. But this is I'm gonna feature for maybe a couple episodes is this like famous area people, places, things, and for our music fans out there, I want to talk about the Mississippi River Festival, which I hear all these stories from people, especially people older than me that are big music fans. It was a pretty neat event over at Southern Illinois, Edwardsville. But it started in 1969 as a venue for the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra to play in the summertime. But then they started bringing all these other groups in, more popular music. And it went on to, like 1980 was the last one. But it was like several weekends in the summer. It usually started like in July and August. But, the Who was there, the Who was there. The Eagle is one of the first big concerts the Eagles ever played.
Wow.
They drew 25,000 people. And one of the showgoers that were there said after he was backstage and he said, that they were jumping up and down because they were blown away by the, just the energy in that, because it was their first big one. And, and they said the other cool thing was that these acts, even the big ones, would go out and hit the bars afterwards and drink with all the college students and that. So it was a neat opportunity.
Of course they would.
So, back in those
Why
days,
not?
It's cool back.
Yeah. Back in the 70s, it was just a completely different thing, but it went on, and they just had a wide variety of music. And I'm not going to read I'm just going to read some of the, just the spectrum of groups they had. You went from, you had like, the first year they had Iron Butterfly, Joni Mitchell, Joan Baez, Janis Joplin, the band. They had Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, the Spinners, Albert King, the Guess Who, Chuck Berry, Jerry Lee Lewis, Ike and Tina Turner, Chris Christopherson, Brownsville Station, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Fifth Dimension, Beach Boys. It's just a wide range, array of.
Are they going to bring it back?
And they had a couple, like revivals, but the venue was in they had a hill that at the bottom, it made kind of like it was like a natural amphitheater, and they built this big like circus tent that was permanent. So they had some seating under the tent, but most of the people just sat on the hill, and they had actually built like a bandstand for it. But toward the end, the tent was getting old and nasty, and they hired some outside group because it always kind of lost money because it was such a big event, and I guess they had to pay these acts a lot of money to come. But eventually, they tried to save it in the late 70s. This group came in and they couldn't pull it off. So I know there's a lot, and I know Postal Dave. He went to a lot of these things.
How many do they have?
Well, it was from 69 to 80.
Okay.
And every year, like they said, they had like maybe
11.
Like 6. So it was a cool thing. So and it was just like kind of like for people who like classic rock, it was like the sweet spot as far as the time period.
What was the one at?
Hey, he's a music.
Hey, the Johnny Love.
He knows music.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
That we went to the music trivia night.
Yeah,
he was unreal.
I
didn't answer
Classic
it.
Rock Preservation Society, and the only thing was Sawyer only attempted to answer one question, and we disregarded him because we thought he was, making it up. It was Bob Cuban was the answer, I think.
Yes.
And we disregarded him.
He just passed away about not too long
Did he
ago.
really?
Yeah.
He's the band of the Big Red.
Nobody in Cambodia or know who that is. Or
Bob Cuban?
Yeah.
Only St. Louis people know Bob.
Even people in Cuba don't know who Bob Cuban is.
He's the what was it? The what was his main song?
The Cheater.
The Cheaters.
Well, he was on the Admiral.
Stranger.
Didn't he like travel on the Admiral?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a house
Admiral
band.
Shit. They need to bring the Admiral back. That's what they need to bring back.
Right.
Yeah, you'd go down there, wouldn't you?
They have cruise ships down there still. And are you done?
I'm completely done.
All right. So anybody that is actually waiting for my update on the TT trial, they may have to wait till tomorrow.
The Jameson shot and the long delay. We were long delayed.
I think it's safe to do my Jameson shot now. So
there you go.
Go ahead, Johnny.
Thank
Put
you,
it on the
fellas.
air. Put Johnny on the air. Jack says, all right. Hey, Jack, you didn't buy the shit.
Hey,
John looked back and said, thanks, fellas.
The Mobile
Jack
Reserve
says,
officers
okay.
contributed to that shit.
yeah, I'm
Jack trying to take credit for that shit. No
all right.
problem,
Thanks,
Johnny.
Jack.
Hey, I want to sum up one thing real quick. Back in the day, we started I got mad about the zipper merge bullshit.
Yeah.
And
Still
I'm not.
upset about
It's because the construction's been going on so freaking long.
There you go.
It's been going on so long. That's a live thing. That how long is construction 55 from South County to downtown? Forever. At least 2 years. So when it first started, the zipper merge wasn't working. It pissed me off because people would zoom down. And I noticed a couple weeks ago going into So anyway, sorry, it's live.
This is going to be awesome.
Anyway, the zipper merge.
Every week.
Finally, I noticed this about a week or so because every day I drive 55. Listen to me. Every day I drive 55 fucking from South County to fucking downtown. And now the zipper merge. They're finally figuring out
the zipper merge and getting called all the time. You are mad as a motherfucker.
The zipper merge is actually starting to work. I noticed that about 3 weeks ago that these motherfuckers are actually
Steve Dodge.
That he was right. And but it took 2 years to figure out and I think we got about 4 more years before the construction is done. I don't know who hired the people to do the construction, but this is crazy. It's
now you're on the zipper merge. You're like this.
I think it actually works. And there's always one asshole that goes past it and doesn't do it right. But for the most part, yeah.
Give them a
I think
honk.
people, I think it is.
Give
People
them a long honk.
They're so, the people that cheat and go all the way up are getting so mad at getting road raged at that they're finally following suit.
Yep. Get over it. But they're saying that you should go up and merge.
No, you got to ease into it. But you don't go at the very end and move. You got as you go up, you move in and move in.
Or the a-hole that just drives as fast.
Yeah, the asshole that goes all the way up to the front. That's bullshit.
And, we just had this snow. The other thing that bothers the shit out of me is a snow tailgater. It's already snowing, and people all drive differently in the snow. Some people drive a little slower, a little caution. You don't have to get on their ass. Just give them some room. It's snowing.
Right.
Back off. Tailgaters in general are complete douchebags.
Oh yes.
But the tailgaters in the snow, they take douchebag level.
You send a picture of one.
Yeah, they take it to another level.
They do.
They do take.
That's our traffic report for the day.
That's traffic report. Tune in, and then again on Wednesday, like Jack said, just hit the bell. You'll get everything we put out, because we're putting out a great story with Mark Biondolino on Wednesday, and another the Bill McDonough TT one where the dirty cop. We're going to talk about that. That will be out. Who knows? I don't know exactly when, because the verdict's coming, and we don't want to do that till after the verdict.
Jack, I cursed a lot in the last few things I said.
Cut that shit out, right?
You cut that. It's live, is obvious.
Cut that fucking shit out.
All right, my mom's. All
right, we're out.
Paige's.
Update on Paige. Paige Spears.
Yeah, Paige Spears' parole hearing was scheduled for today. I haven't heard from him or his family, but hopefully we get some good news. So,
next week we'll have that news.
Right? Yes, indeed.
All right. We are out. Peace. Hold on. Our communities that support law enforcement are safer places to live. Peace out, people.
Thank God.